Sometimes they call it the prosperity gospel. Sometimes they call it the healthy, wealthy gospel. There's some kind of preachers or denominations or non-denominational preachers who are preaching the gospel in that way. The gospel that promises people to be healthy, wealthy, prosperous. If you believed in God and you really prayed well, you're going to be wealthy, you're going to be healthy. And if this doesn't happen, then you didn't have enough faith. When we look to that kind of gospel, compared to what we know, what we truly know, through the lens of the Bible we are reading, the history of the church, a feast like the feast of the martyrs, we don't think that this is the kind of gospel that God Himself, when He came as God incarnate in the person of Jesus Christ, I don't think this is the kind of gospel He preached out. This is not the kind of gospel He promised us with. Actually, He Himself said, if anyone wants to follow me, then he should deny himself and then follow me. In the world, you're going to find temptation, you're going to find troubles, but be sure that I overcame the world. This is the kind of gospel we have seen, we have read. This is the kind of gospel we have seen in Jesus Christ Himself when He came as a poor man. I mean, if the gospel is promising health and wealth, why did Jesus came to be born in a manger? Why did He accepted crucifixion, or actually the most humiliating way of being executed or killed? Why did He accept all of that? When we see how the preaching of the gospel was happening after Jesus was crucified and resurrected from the dead, we see, as example, St. Paul. In 1 Corinthians, he said, "And I, brethren, when I came to you, did not come with excellence of speech or wisdom, declaring to you the testimony of God." The gospel is not the well-articulated sermons, the rhetorical sermons that pleases people and attract their attention. It's not the preaching of the people who are very well educated, saying fancy words and fancy expressions. So what was he preaching? He said, "For I determined not to know anything among you except Jesus Christ and Him crucified." I determined not to know anything among you except Jesus Christ and Him crucified. I don't know anyone. Jesus Christ is not the one who was born in a palace, who had many people in His army and no one was able to defeat Him, and He was able to conquer and open countries and defeat in wars. He wasn't that kind of person. He was the kind of person when St. Peter thought he's going to defend him by cutting the ear of one of the servants of the people who were coming to arrest him. He said, "Put your sword back, because I can ask for 12,000 of heavenly hosts to come and defend me or save me, but I'm coming for this hour." In another place in Galatians, he's saying, "But God forbid that I should boast except in the cross of our Lord Jesus Christ, by whom the world has been crucified to me and I to the world." Which means I should be crucified to the world. What does that mean? You can take crucified and put crucified to the world. You can take crucified and put die, right? I die to the world. What the meaning of dying to the world? The world that can attract me by earthly things it is not anymore attracting. It's not that the kind of thing that attract me. What attract me is the heaven, is living with Him. I want to share with you two things. I don't know why. Yesterday, I've seen on the media a human rights advocate. Her name is Jacqueline Isaac. I think she's Egyptian. I tried to search her, but I couldn't know. But it seems she's Egyptian. She's Egyptian American. Her name is Jacqueline Ishaq, I think. And in April, she testified in the United Nations. She worked with the Iraqi Christians and Yazidis who were persecuted by ISIS. And she went to Syria as well. So she testified before the United Nations, before the UK Parliament, and before the Congress, the US Congress. And she was sharing one of the stories of the 21 martyrs. She said, I met with 15 of the families of the 21 martyrs, the Coptic martyrs, last year, 2015. And she said one of them, while giving farewell to his wife, and he has little kids, he was telling her, I know that I'm going to Libya, and Libya it's an unsafe place, and I don't know if I'll be back or not. But please, teach my kids the principles of Christ. You can see it on video, on YouTube. Jacqueline Isaac. And she was sharing before the Parliament, the UK Parliament, the US Congress, the United Nations, the story of a martyr, not a theologian. She's a lawyer, and she said, I'm not coming as a lawyer. Lawyers can give very fancy speeches, very attractive speeches. But she was sharing the story of maybe an illiterate person who was very steadfast in his faith. I think this is the kind of Christianity we need to stick to. We need to live. It's not the healthy, wealthy gospel. It's not the healthy, wealthy Christianity. It's not the prosperity Christianity. It is the Christianity that teaches us that we should live according to the Word of God. The other story is coming from another or a different place. It's an aid worker who were in Syria. She's American. Her name is Kayla Muller. I think you can search her. She's all over the media. And when ISIS people brought her and said she's very strong personality and she's stronger even than men, and she converted to Islam, and she said, no, I didn't. And many of the hostages beside her, they said, I don't know if they said that to us, would we be able to stand for our faith and say, no, we didn't convert? And what does that mean when she gives such a testimony? She died for her faith. She was executed. They are saying they pulled her fingernails before raping her and then killing her. That's tough, but that's how people are sticking to their faith. We are living in a very safe place, supposedly. We are living in very comfort life, very luxurious. We have many things. Many people all over the world, they don't have. How should we live as Christians? I think I'm going to conclude with that. It's from Hebrew 12. Hebrews chapter 12. St. Paul is saying the following: therefore we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses who applied the gospel we have just heard, the great pearl, the people who sold all they have to acquire the great pearl, the treasure. They sold all they have. We need to sell. I should sell a relationship. I should sell a habit. I should sell something I drink that I shouldn't. I should sell my hope and belief in success. That's what will fulfill and give me my status, I should sell something to live according to the commandments of God. So he's saying, therefore we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight. So the more we look to those witnesses who witnessed and testified for their faith, we should lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. We are running a race. It's not a 5K or how many Ks. It is a race to be in heaven. It's not a 5K race. It's our race to be in heaven. And we're having those saints are telling us, go forward, keep going, keep going, keep going. You will make it through the grace of God. We made it, and you can make it. The things of the world are not. The prosperity of the world is not what can fulfill and satisfy you. What can satisfy you is living with Christ and in Christ. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of glory. And he is assuring us a place in heaven with him. This is what we are looking for. This is what we are looking for. Not the degrees, not the cars. We need that stuff. We use it because we need it for this world. But cannot be identified with our souls. It's not what gives us our value, our meaning. It doesn't give our lives its meaning. I think the more we look to these martyrs, the more we look to the martyrs throughout the years and from different places, I think we should make the decision to say, we should live as Christians, that kind of Christianity. Not the Christianity that promises people to be healthy and wealthy, which is not. Because actually many people were very saintly, but they weren't healthy and wealthy. The man that was here yesterday, he's not wealthy. And I hope we can live the Christian life at that standard. May God give us, through the blessing of those saints, give us to live that Christian life. And give us to run the race with all endurance, with all hope, and laying aside all weight and sin. And glory be to God forever, amen. مش عارف أعيد بالعربي ولا حاجة؟ أعيد بالعربي ولا بلاش؟ كفاية. حد عايز عربي؟ خلاص؟ أقوله حاجة؟ بلاش خلاص.